All right. Now we need to talk. All right. Everybody want to talk about Wrestlepalooza, but nobody wants to talk about All Out. Well, we need to talk about it. So let's talk about it. So Wrestlepalooza and All Out are going to be on the same day, unfortunately, because WWE wanted a counter program. Don't know if that's the right word for it, but I'll tell you what, it's stupid. But we're going to have to deal with it until WWE clears out, metaphorically speaking. Now, let's look at this. Now, I like this matchup because there are other matches in All Out that could have been compared, but they picked this. So, to go up against competition, we got Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre, and we got Hangman and, Adam Page, and Kyle Fletcher. Now, Kyle Fletcher is the new upcoming star, all right? If you don't know, he's a TNT champion, right? He was supposed to beat Adam Cole for that belt, but then it ended up being a fatal four-way match, and he lost to Dustin Rhodes. But then eventually he got his second chance when he faced him in a hardcore match on either Collision or Dynamite, and he was able to win the belt then. It was very extreme, but hey, he won the belt, so that's good. He should have won it at All In, but instead he won it, at a Collision or Dynamite. So it is what it is. At least he got the belt. Now, to me, this match is good because because of the storyline, right? If you guys don't know, Adam Page and Kyle been beefing for a little bit because of Kenny Omega's injury and because of the Don Callis family. Okay, he's part of that clique, and with Josh Alexander, and he's a new upcoming star. But the biggest issue is that should he win 2 belts? No, he shouldn't. He's not ready. But that doesn't mean he can't get the belt. It just means that having 2 belts is just unnecessary when you just won one. You know what I'm saying? It's more like it just makes it feel like winner take all type of match. Versus with Cody and Drew McIntyre, it's only for 1 belt, and that's the WWE Championship. I think that's what it is. So we all know Cody ain't doing nothing with the belt. So everyone wants Drew McIntyre to win the belt. Even Jordan wants Drew McIntyre to win the belt. So let's listen.
Drew McIntyre should 1,000% dethrone Cody Rhodes at Wrestlepalooza. And before everyone freaks out, I'm going to explain why this would be good for the business. With this being the first premium live event of the ESPN partnership, what better way than to throw in a twist and make this actually unpredictable by having Drew McIntyre take the W? Again, this is the first ESPN PLE, and I feel like you have to throw in some type of twist, some type of excitement. And honestly, if Cody wins, I just don't know where the story goes. At this point for Drew, he needs it way more than Cody does. And I feel like this is the perfect time to do it. I also feel like there hasn't been an amazing buildup between Drew and Cody. So this could also kickstart an even better feud between them. Also, I thought Cody was going to be busy with filming that movie. So I feel like it just makes sense and aligns for Drew McIntyre to take the W and take the championship at Wrestlepalooza.
So anybody that agree with that, comment down below and let me know if you think Drew McIntyre is going to win. Now, if Drew McIntyre wins, it could be the Adam Page versus Kyle Fletcher match, but I do think that Adam Page and Kyle Fletcher are going to put on a great performance. But the results of Drew McIntyre winning will probably outshine it. So the results matter for Wrestlepalooza, but the performance-wise will matter for AEW All Out for, the main event with the AEW World Championship. So the performance-wise will be great, but the results for Wrestlepalooza for Cody and Drew will be predetermined depending on who wins. So if Cody wins, Adam and Kyle will win the match of the night. But if Drew McIntyre wins, then it outshadows the Adam Page and Kyle Fletcher match, because we all want Drew McIntyre to win the gold. He's been down bad for the past couple months, ever since he lost at WrestleMania, and he needs to win it back. Okay, he can carry the title through while Cody do his thing with Street Fighters. But the question is, what if Drew McIntyre don't got no opponents? Kevin Owens is out. Sami Zayn is the United States champion, and all he got is Randy Orton. So who can he face? Can he face anyone? That's the thing. Do he have any type of competition? Maybe he could face John Cena, if that's possible. But hopefully that could be the case. But speaking of John Cena, that's what leads to this next one. John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. And then, of course, you got Jon Moxley versus Darby Allin in a coffin match. Now, for those that never seen John Cena versus Brock Lesnar before, this is it, and this is your first time, you're probably going to say this is going to be one of the greatest matches for John Cena, right? Because you ain't never seen Brock Lesnar face John Cena before in your entire life. Versus with me, I've seen them fought before. Back when John Cena was heel and Brock Lesnar was face. And when Brock Lesnar returned and faced him in Extreme Rules, and also faced him at SummerSlam, and also faced him, in a triple threat match with Seth Rollins. I've seen it. I don't know how many times is that. I think it's, actually, I also seen John Cena versus Brock Lesnar in Night of Champions. And that would have been a great match if Seth Rollins didn't come in and interrupt. So that's 4 times. I've seen them fought before, and I don't need to see them fight again. So I'm going to skip that match. But I know some people that are new to this are going to say it's a great match. But if you ask me, I'm going with Jon Moxley versus Darby Allin, because I ain't never seen those two fought before one-on-one. I've seen a throwback, but that was it. I need to see it again. And I predicted that John and Darby Allin was going to face each other after All In, because, what the Death Riders did to Darby Allin before. I was just hoping it would be a steel cage match. It would be a cage match, But they already had that in Forbidden Door before Will Ospreay was out. So now, like I said, if you ask me, I'm going with the coffin match. Y'all can keep Cena versus Brock Lesnar. Because I've seen it before, and in this era that we're seeing with WWE now, it's not going to be that good. But some people are going to say it will be. I don't believe that. But if you guys think it's good, you can watch it for me and let me know what it is. But I'm watching the coffin match, because I ain't never seen those two fought before. And I want to get the experience to watch Jon Moxley versus Darby Allin, especially with this stipulation that's happening this Saturday. So I think it's going to be a great match. So I think that match is going to be John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. Maybe not star power, but the performance-wise, the match itself, it's going to beat it. Trust me. And if you hear C-Jack and Bobby Masu say that match sucks, then you already know that Jon Moxley versus Darby Allin won by default. Now, I could hear both of them saying it will be a good match, but I still think they're going to complain about it because of the lack of build-up, and also, how the match be about, Like, they might say it'll be a great match, but you don't know but you got to ask yourself, where do we go from here? Does Brock Lesnar go back home? Or does John Cena, go after the gold? What can he do? But, when you only have 6 dates left? That's the question. See, at least we can figure out what John and Darby going to do afterwards. But with John and Brock, we don't know what they're going to do. So So yeah, I'm going with the coffin match. But y'all can do what y'all want to do with Cena versus Brock because I've already seen it already, and I don't need to see it again. So we're gonna leave that alone. But let's get to the next one. Then we have the mixed tag team match: Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins versus AJ Lee and CM Punk. And then of course we have the Fatal 4-Way match for the AEW Women's World Title. We got Toni Storm, Jamie Hayter, Chris Stanlander, and Thekla. Now, let me start with the Fatal 4-Way match, and then we'll get to the mixed tag team match. Matter of fact, no. Let's talk about the mixed tag team match because I haven't got much to say about that. So, I already know the mixed tag team match is going to be great because of AJ Lee. But if it wasn't for AJ Lee, this match would have been something to sleep on. Because imagine if CM Punk was teaming up with Rhea Ripley. We would not care about this match. But because AJ Lee is back, we're going to care because of her. So hopefully this match will be great. I think it will be because of AJ Lee. But after this, what other matches is she going to do that's going to be great? Because if it's just going to be one match, then at least one match will be memorable. But everything else will be forgetful. You would just hope that if she faced anybody that she has chemistry in the ring with, that it will be great. But she has been gone for so long, you really don't know, bro. You really don't know. But I think it's going to be a great match. So even though some people don't think so, I do believe it will be a great match for sure. I know it for sure. It's going to be a great match. But would it beat the Fatal 4-Way match? It won't be fair because, see, I hate that they did this because I don't know if that's going to count because it's a mixed tag team match. This is a Fatal 4-Way match for a title. The mixed tag team match is there's nothing, there's no stipulation for it. It's just a mixed tag team match. That's it. Versus with the Fatal 4-Way, it doesn't, it's not the same stipulation. You know what I mean? But however, will I say, the Fatal 4-Way match won against the mixed tag team match? No, that's not fair and it's not logic. I'm not going to compare it to that because it's different. You know what I mean? This is an all women's match versus with the mixed tag team match, this is an all gender match. So men and women. So it's like, I think I don't see any comparison. I don't see no competition. But however, if we're going to go by that, then we'll go by it. I think the mixed tag team match is going to beat the Fatal 4-Way match. Even though storytelling-wise, the Fatal 4-Way match is going to beat it because of Chris Stanlander and Jamie Hayter and Thekla's beef. So I think and I'll say it like this. If Chris Stanlander beats Toni Storm for the AEW Women's title and joins the Death Riders, then it outshines the mixed tag team match. Even though y'all would disagree, Chris Stanlander, see, y'all don't know the story with Chris Stanlander. If you watch my reaction videos of all the women matches, you will see that Chris Stanlander is going to join the Death Riders. If you don't know who the Death Riders are, it's when let's just say the leader is Jon Moxley. He have his crew, and Chris Stanlander is going to join the crew. So if you know what Chris Stanlander looks like, you will know she's going to be the winner to beat whoever in the match to get the pin so that way she can win the belt. And if she wins that belt, she's joining the Death Riders and she's going to lead in the same way that Rhea lead the Judgment Day. Okay? You all right? And don't worry, we'll do a video where we'll do some comparison with the Judgment Day and the Death Riders. But however, let's just wait till Chris Stanlander joins and then we'll talk about it, okay? Because I want to educate y'all on AEW because some of y'all don't know too well about it. So we'll talk about it. But I'll say this. The storyline itself will beat the mixed tag team match. But I think star power and the match itself might beat it. But knowing AEW, their matches will always be A1. Versus with, with WWE, not so much. But I think it's going to be a great match. But I still believe that the mixed tag team match is going to beat the Fatal 4-Way. But if Chris wins, then we can forget what I just said. Because if Chris wins, it's over. Okay? And then y'all going to see what's going to go down afterwards. Because I'm telling you, man, once Chris joined the Death Riders, see, y'all don't know the Death Riders. The Death Riders, they the things that they do is 10 times worse than what NWO done. All right? Besides spray painting people, they injure people. Okay? They are the Hurt Syndicate / the Shield. They will hurt anyone that gets in their way. And they injure people. They hurt people. That's what they do. They take out your favorite superstar and they show no remorse. And if Chris Stanlander joins, best believe sure she's going to injure anybody on site, and the women's division are in trouble because she's going to have backup and she's going to take out anyone that gets in her way. And I'm all for it. But just don't hurt my baby girl, Holly Cameron, because that's my baby mama, okay? But she's going to do it, and obviously I gotta take that pain, but hey, at least we got a story to tell. So at least she's storytelling. As long as you're storytelling, then it's all good. But let's talk about the next match. But yeah, let's talk about the next match, okay? Because I don't want to get sad. I don't want to be sad here. But yeah, I'm all in for it. But like I said, if Chris Stanlander wins, it will outshadow the mixed tag team match. But I do think the mixed tag team match is going to win this one. But we will have to wait and see. But I do think if Chris Stanlander wins the Fatal 4-Way, then it outshadows the mixed tag team match. But if she don't win, then obviously the mixed tag team match wins by default because of the results. So I'll just say it like that. We then get to the next match of Io Sky and Steffi Valkyrie. And also we have Mercedes Moné versus Riho for the TBS title. Now, all I'm going to say is this. Stephanie has the opportunity to win this belt. If she listen, I'm not going to say if she don't. I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to trust and believe that she will win because she announced that her dad is going to be there to watch her win the belt. So hopefully she wins it. But if she don't, let me take that back. I believe in my heart that she's going to win it. Everybody online is saying that she's going to win it. Even Jordan believes that she's going to win it. Let's listen.
There is no doubt in my mind that Stephanie Valkyrie should win this upcoming Saturday at Wrestlepalooza and be our next women's world champion. Now, if you know me, you know I am still hurting over the fact that Naomi had to relinquish the women's world championship due to the fact that she is pregnant. The next best thing here to elevate Stephanie Valkyrie would be to let her take that W on Saturday. I just don't see another direction for this match. Io has had her time to shine as champion. She will be champion again in the future. If there is a time to push Stephanie Valkyrie even more over with the crowd, now would be it. I just don't see any reason for Io to win on Saturday. Listen, guys, if we had it my way, I would let Naomi have the championship throughout her entire pregnancy and then defend it when she gets back. No, I'm just kidding. But this is the way it needs to go. I mean, you can disagree with me, but I'm right.
And I believe you are. But you guys got to comment down below. Do you think Steffi Valkyrie is going to win? Because I believe that she's going to win because, for one, her dad going to be there. And two, it's predictable. And three, everyone knows that Stephanie deserves that belt because she was supposed to go against Naomi, but it got canceled. So now this is her opportunity to win something that she should have gotten months ago. But now this is the opportunity for her to win it. So if she wins it, that's great because if Io Sky, we can't have Io Sky win it. I'm sorry. You screwed her out of the belt. Her title reign sucked because she barely wrestled. So this is our opportunity to. But the problem I have with the Io Sky versus Steffi Valkyria match is that it always ends up in a DQ. No contest. And there's rumors saying that Asuka's going to cost Io Sky the match. But I'm like, okay, if you're going to do that, do a no DQ so that way the referee won't go ding, 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 ding. Like, stop that. You know what I'm saying? Get rid of the DQs. Make it a no DQ match. That way, if you get an interference, they can still continue with the match, even if there's interference. But unfortunately, we don't have many days left. So it's going to suck. But the match itself won't suck if it just ends up being a clean match. But because of Asuka, it might not be like that. But at least, can we at least get a match where it ends with pinfall or submission? Can we please get that? Because I do not want it to be no contest. Just end the match with pinfall and submission, please. And hopefully that person will be Stephanie. But we got to wait and see. But as for the Mercedes match goes, I won't be surprised if Mercedes retain. But I kind of want Riho to win. But if they want to wait for the next 2 months, then fine. I just hope the person that take the belt will be the right person. We just have to wait. We just have to wait. I still think Harley Cameron should go after that belt because Australia's going to be here and she should be in the match card. But, it's crazy because she's not even on the poster. And but she was doing her thing last year. Was it last year or this year? I got to check. But I will say this. If Mercedes retain the title, then most likely I will go with the Io Sky versus Steffi Valkyria match because I believe Stephanie is going to win. But if I ain't gonna say it. Nope. I believe Stephanie's gonna win. I believe she's gonna win. So I'm gonna go with Stephanie versus Io Sky. I just hope that if Mercedes retain, it will retain because she won clean, and that's that. And most of her matches, she do win clean, so it is what it is on that one. I just hate that Riho came back for nothing, but hopefully this won't be the end, of her competing because, it's not like you just brought her back for nothing. Like, have her do something, Otherwise, it kind of sounds to me like you're trying to hold the belt for Alex Windsor, but she faced her already. There's no need to face her again. But if that be the case because of her husband, then whatever. But something must be done. So we just have to wait and see on that. But I'm going with Io Sky versus Steffi Valkyria. And I'll try to watch it, but I ain't going to live stream it. Like I said, I'm watching all out. So, but I will watch it. I'll give my results once everything is all said and done, okay? But let's get to the next one. Last one, we have the Usos versus the Bronze. And we also have Edge and Christian versus FTR. Now, both of them don't have no titles on the line because none of them are champions. But, however, it would have been champions if the stipulations was right. And, it would have been cool to have the Judgment Day versus the Usos versus the Bronze. But y'all didn't set that up because there's no creativity. So, and AEW is not perfect either because, instead of giving the belts to FTR, you give it to another team that nobody's talking about. So, again, they are at fault for that too. Even though it's cool, it was cool at the moment. All it did was just take the titles away to where nobody can compete to get them. But the good thing is there is a match where most likely we're going to have the titles on the line and we're going to have a fatal four-way ladder match. So whoever wins that will most likely face the tag team champions in a ladder match at All Out. So whoever wins gets the titles, and then we can get a story to tell. And I'm rooting for the Young Bucks. So hopefully they'll take the belts away from the new champions, and then they could be 4-time or 5-time tag team champions. Because I never got a chance to see their title run, and I really want to see it. So I'm looking forward to that. So hopefully the Young Bucks will win the belts, and then that way I can see their title run, and hopefully it'll be great. Most likely it will, but I really do need to see them, compete with the belts and actually give the belts some shine like they did before. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah. But if you ask me, Edge and Christian versus FTR is going to outshine the Usos versus the Brawns. Yeah, it'll be cool because of Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, actually getting over because of the Usos. It would be cool, but here's the thing. I don't give a damn about that match. Hey, listen, it might be cool, but it's like, dude, we've already seen the Bloodline versus the Vision. We don't need to see it again. I mean, we're good on that. So I like I said, I can care less about that match. It's not like the Usos versus the no. It's not like the Usos versus the New Day, because when they remember the Hell in a Cell match between the New Day and the Usos, that was lit. If it was something like that, cool. Except one problem: they're not going to go that extreme. If they did, it would have been dope. But it's not going out like that, even though I want it to be. So so I can care less about that match. I'll say it'll probably be mid, but the Edge and Christian match versus FTR, that's not going to be mid. Because for one, you got two Toronto boys facing, facing FTR. So it's like, I think this is good because the crowd is going to be by their side. And if you see AEW tonight, the crowd was definitely on Edge and Christian's side. Even though Christian didn't say much, it's just amazing that Toronto had their back in that moment. And shout out to Toronto for that, looking out for their homegrown talent. You know what I'm saying? Being 25 years in the game, so. That's good. But yeah, we all know Edge and Christian and versus FTR is going to outshine the Usos versus the Brawns. So we ain't going to talk more about that at all, period. I mean, we already know what this is going to be, and it's going to be what it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? So that match itself is going to take down the Usos versus the Brawns because nobody cares about that match. Let's be honest. All right. Give me the Usos versus the Judgment Day. Give me that. You know what I'm saying? So that way they could take the tag team belts off of them, and then, the Usos can do what they do. And then hopefully if they ever do spin it back with the Bronze, then, they could be the tag team champions while Seth Rollins be the world champion, and Becky Lynch will be the Intercontinental champion until she faces AJ Lee for the belt. And then that way we got something in motion. All right. So, but yeah, man. So that's my thoughts on that. But in case you don't know my picks, I'm going to repeat it again. So I pick Adam Page versus Kyle Fletcher at the match of the night. And I pick Jon Moxley versus Darby Allin in a coffin match. And I also pick AJ Lee and CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch match, right? And I also pick Io Sky versus Steffi Valkyrie match. And I also pick Edge and Christian versus FTR. So I'll say, let me see. I say 3 out of 2. Yep, 3 out of 2. So 3 matches from AEW and 2 matches from Wrestlepalooza. So that's me. But y'all comment down below and let me know which match you are looking forward to, and let me know which one you think is going to outshine the ratings, global views, audience, including, star power. So y'all comment down below and let me know what kind of matches are you looking for. It doesn't have to be in order. You could just pick one. You know what I'm saying? I don't care which. I already gave you an example of mine. Now you give me your example of yours. So comment down below and pick which match from AEW and WWE you want to see and which one you think is going to be better than the other. Okay, let me know down below. All right, get in the comment box. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share if you're new, and look at the list before you comment and let me know in order from 1 to 5 are you looking forward to. Okay, and which match you think is going to beat the other. All right, get in the comment box. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share if you're new, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. All right, I'm out.